Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about this. Man, I cannot believe we're here. Okay, let's talk about Donald Trump's third and fourth term. All right, so Donald Trump is threatening to secure a third and fourth term. What? Like, you were like, wait, what? Like, yeah, I can't believe we're here either. I am shocked and appalled. And frankly, okay, and so when I heard about this, I was like, well, I heard about this like 12 months ago, right? And I was like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, people talk all the time. But this week, man, this thing came to the forefront, and it's become extremely clear he's serious about this. Like, he's, hey, all right, let's, we're going to have this discussion, right? And I have to say, the moment I realized this was real, and I was like, okay, he's actually talking about this, I was terrified. And I love politics, and I'll tell you, I'm more frightened by this than when Putin threatened America with a nuclear strike. I was like, yeah, bring it, whatever, who cares? I didn't lose one moment of sleep when I heard about this. I was like, oh wait, am I prepared for that? Right? And that night I lost sleep. I was like, what? Right, I genuinely was terrified by this news. All right, and then so I was terrified by it, and 12 hours passed. Right, so it was ticking in my head, and a lot of stuff percolates in my mind, and then I was like, wait, and I had an epiphany. A lot of Scott's thoughts come as an epiphany. I was like, wait, I don't need to be frightened by this, and I'm no longer frightened by this. Why? This is America, baby. All right. So every other country in the world, actually, every other country in the world, okay, they're not built like America. Many countries in this world, and like one of the biggest ones right now is Russia. That country was built from the ground up, from day one, to subjugate its people and to make sure they were always under a tyrant and a dictator, right? And that they could never escape that tyrant and that dictator's grip, right? Like it was built from the ground up. And there are other countries that from the infrastructure, they are built to make sure their people never rise up, right? Never are able to manage to handle a tyrant dictator. They're not able to do it, right? But that is not America. We were built from day one. We were built at the infrastructure level. We have been built from the very beginning to handle tyrants and dictators. And all that's needed is just a few good men, right? And they don't need to be military. They don't even need like a mix of blue collar, white collar, just good old-fashioned Americans, right? They don't need special training. They don't need anything, right? This country was built from day one to make sure that a handful of Americans, they don't even have to be men, right? A handful of Americans will always be able to handle a tyrant and a dictator. We do not need to be worried. We do not need to be terrified. We don't even need to lose 1 minute of sleep over this. America was built from the beginning to handle tyrants and dictators. Donald Trump is not a tyrant or dictator yet. He is just threatening to be, right? If he decides to take a third or a fourth term, fine. You're a tyrant, you're a dictator, no problem. We know how to handle that. Americans have been, we have built this nation to handle this problem from the very beginning. It is braided into the infrastructure of America. We have always had everything we needed, and we still have everything we need today to handle a tyrant and a dictator. None of us need to lose a single ounce of sleep over this. I am hoping that Donald Trump will realize, hey, this will not behoove him to go down this road. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.